Good day, beloved people. Today is 7th of March, 2017, and today is a magnificent day where the hard work is having its crescendo, the peak. For 7 days, Baltic Sea Indigenous Court has been proceeding, viewing the enormous fabric of evidence of nuclear war system crimes that are going on our beloved Mother Earth. That is bringing each one of us into reality of systems of war instead of systems of peace, love and understanding. These war systems have been criminalized, and with that the corporations that bring them. And today even was a surprise, which always happens when we hold these conferences, courts, that yesterday I was told by my fellows in Estonia that there is a conference on Baltic Sea this weekend. And so I prepared the documents and went to it, as it was an eminent event on Baltic Sea future. Furthermore, they call it a Congress, where 1,500 municipalities around the Baltic Sea participate to improve the future of Baltic Sea region. And that is something that gods obviously have planned, that we do finalize our Baltic Sea Indigenous Court Conference, Criminalize Nuclear War Systems Conference Court, with this Baltic Sea Future Congress, where we did go and leave our documents to them. And the documents are on the proclamation of Godland, with the protection of all indigenous people of our beloved Mother Earth, and of course particularly on protection of the Baltic Sea region. That is our origin indigenous area. And Baltic Sea is the most radioactive sea in the world. And there I did meet a professor on this Congress who was a professor at Stockholm University, who didn't know that it's the most radioactive sea in the world. And I did give him the papers, and you will be able to see another video on how it all was delivered in the sequence from Stockholm's Mässan, Baltic Sea Future Congress. And furthermore, we delivered also the documents of Indigenous Decentralisation decree and even a warrant. So these documents have to be provided to all 1,500 municipalities around Baltic Sea, and Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden was there in this conference too yesterday, having the introductory speech, and so it finally was a complete set of representatives in this event that started with the ruling monarchy, and it was finalized by Congres of Indigenous Peoples. So this is the event that will bring forward Indigenous decentralization, and we do start it here in Baltic Sea region, and furthermore it will go on to the whole world, as I have emitted a quadrillion of Baltic Sea indigenous runes, and that could be enough to start a very nice recovery for all systems of our Mother Earth, for all indigenous people of the world. If it won't be enough, we will emit more. But to get these indigenous runes into your societies, you first of all have to organize your own indigenous communities, and you need to hold your own courts, and you have to provide your own local indigenous means of money. It might be some kinds of coupons or any conventional money that you can localize to function to cover basic needs of each individual in your society. Because we don't want to make inflation with our indigenous runes before the basic needs of everybody are covered. And for that, indigenous people have to organize like they never did before, because we are the holders of culture, of divine connection to the gods that have created this beautiful Mother Earth. And we do know how to create a loving, peaceful and understanding environment that is free of war and contamination and hate. And we responsibly have to unfold our knowledge, our spirit, our love into the next generations that are to come. We have to bring them our wisdom, and the time is short, because nuclear war systems have been progressing extremely, as the Satanist networks have been built out through the whole Mother Earth, and on all sacred places there are Satan-praising institutions who drink blood and eat flesh, who have to be stopped. No black magic rituals should be allowed anymore. Just loving, caring, and fertility symbols for our future. For that we have Indigenous Decentralization Pro. Indigenous Decentralization you can find on LoveOrder.INFO webpage, and you can find more on Baltic Sea Indigenous YouTube channel. Indigenous decentralization is based on the concept of Baltic sun model that has 14 rays of competent parameters that altogether provide stable direction, as the sun model ties you to all 14 sides, so you cannot go astray. And you have to have your indigenous courts and create your own indigenous money that you manage yourselves. And each corporation has to be decentralized, to be managed by indigenous people for the security of our future, to stop the wars, to criminalize those who have already set up systems of mass murder. These systems are the banking systems, and here in Baltic Sea region there is enormous slaughter going on through the banking system, through the digital money that is not controlled by local people. And especially in the Baltic states, just by control of Visa and MasterCards that are American corporations, local people have totally lost money. And they are blocking the cards and people are just dying. 1/3 of population of Latvia has either died or left the country. And we can talk about 1 million of babies that have not been born because of these nuclear war systems that are in place there. So we are talking about war that is ongoing. And the immigration madness that is going on the other side of Baltic Sea, in Sweden, is just a consequence of the war. As Sweden is producing weapons that are being used in these countries where the immigrants come to Sweden, and here they have to work in the companies that produce these weapons to bomb them in their native countries. This is not how the gods had planned it, not at all. So the corporations that are truly insane have to be stopped, and all the people within them have to be freed to get rehabilitation and a new start for peaceful and fertile and loving life, without being forced to murder people and all the living systems of our Mother Earth, as the Baltic Sea, have been destroyed for all coming years to come by these corporations, these war enterprises that have been having their nuclear warhead tests in the 50s, 60s, as one Tsar bomba that was blown up in 1963 was 50 megaton and exceeded 3,000 times Hiroshima bomb. And that all rained down on our Baltic Sea region and made it into the most radioactive place, most radioactive sea in the world. And we have to find the methods to clean it up as our children are walking on the beaches of this beautiful sea where our predecessors have been fishing and rehabilitating themselves for thousands and thousands of years. Now there are hot particles lying in the sand. And such a particle, if it comes into your lung, it just burns like a razor, like a laser through your body. And if it gets stuck somewhere, it starts to create cancer. But these radioactive particles, inhaled, they start any diseases that your genetical kit has weakness for, but mainly cardiovascular. That is the biggest reason of death nowadays. And here in the Baltic Sea region, these corporations are planning now to put nuclear waste, final nuclear waste storages. That is really a very important issue to solve in a right way, because that nuclear waste is like a concentrated package, a mountain of hot particles. And uranium, half-life of uranium is 4.5 billion years, and it's radioactive for 10 times more, which is 45 billion years, which is until the end of times. So wonderful is that we are now united, and we can all together, all these 1,500 municipalities and the Royal House of Sweden, can start working to solve these immense problems, as we are the hands and the heart of our gods. Through us, the gods do their will, and they do want us to save Mother Earth and all the divine living systems. And we have to protect each species, each race. And let the gods be with us in this work. Here with you was Ditta of Godland, Ditta of Östersjöväldet. And you can watch furthermore web pages Baltic Sea Region Radioactivity Watch, which is bsrrw.org, and nuclearjustice.org, and low-level radiation campaign.org, and even LoveOrder.INFO, NationalState.INFO, and 3 YouTube channels where you can follow the enormous archive of the work already done, where there are the evidence interviews of the courts, which is on radioactive BSR as Radioactive Baltic Sea Region, on YouTube channel Radioactive BSR. There is another YouTube channel that is called Baltic Sea Indigenous, and then there is the third YouTube channel, which is called Free Latvia. But we do have to free the whole planet from the deadly systems of nuclear war. Let it be so. And I'll do the marketing of the event that was there today. Here you are.